Ladies and gentlemen, it's Sunday night, and it's time for the Bama Standard post-game show. Things went a little bit late last night, so we decided to bring it to you tonight. And also, we took the emotion out of it, so we're able to break things down a little bit more logically. Before we do anything, jump in the live chat. Let's get this thing rowdy tonight. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. If you're watching the replay, show some love there. Drop us some comments. Let us know what you think. I got a great crew tonight, as always. This channel provides the best analyst out there. I dare anyone to come close. With me is a guy that you see bringing all of the eyes to the channel every single time he pops on. The master of all social media, Coach Smook.
Yes, sir. What's going on,
man? A man that has started with us as a top fan, but now has become a top analyst, and he's unafraid to share his thoughts. The great, the well-spoken Lucian.
Yes, sir.
What's going on, Bama Nation?
Man, how are we feeling, guys? Like I said, we started things a little bit late than usual for us old folks, but we finished out in a victory in Stark Vegas last night. Bama handled their business 40-17 on the road. The Cowboy bells were silenced pretty early, which I like that. But let's talk about how we feel. I'm going to let Coach Smoot give me his first key takeaway. Then we'll go to Lucian. Then we'll start kind of breaking things down as we go because we got a lot to talk about.
We do, man. And first, before we even continue to get started, man, I want to thank everybody for showing up tonight. Impromptu live, you always show up and show support. We appreciate you all. Just continue to like and share. And don't forget, if you're not a subscriber, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We appreciate y'all. Yeah. You already know. So, yeah, man. But first initial reaction, man, is relief. Because we played a consistent game. We progressed through that game, and we got better every drive, whether it was on the offense or the defensive side. And some people be like, how do we get better on the defensive side when we were, we gave up, a touchdown and this play happened? Well, look how many times those plays happened. We didn't get beat the same way twice at all during that game. And that is something I can definitely appreciate with this Alabama staff and this Alabama team with these players on the field. We are seeing guys who are really bought into a system and are understanding a scheme, and they're flying around. And I made the big statement yesterday. When guys are making mistakes, especially on the defensive side, offensively, we played a generally clean game yesterday offensively. Defensively, when guys made mistakes, it wasn't big mistakes. They were making mistakes fast. And that lets you know that they're taking what they're given and they're reacting based off of their level of understanding. And when you do that, you're not caught in the mix. You know what I'm saying? You're not caught in no man's land. You're either all the way right or all the way wrong. So sometimes that's a benefit when you're all the way wrong, because somebody can see an all the way wrong play and recover for you. Caleb Downs, which is why he had a lot of tackles, and stopped a lot of those long runs. So I'm just my initial take, I'm amazed and relieved at the way these guys are maturing and progressing from game to game, drive to drive, especially this game. I saw a lot of progression, drive to drive. Shout out to Shuggy Man, 199. Golden was the problem with previous defenses. Agreed.
Yes,
100,000%. And just so y'all know, I got the cap backwards because so long, Bill, because Tommy Reese might have just woken up, y'all.
Hey, good.
What's up, man?
Hey, speaking of Golden, and it ties into what you just said, Coach Smook. Well, we made adjustments, which that would have happened under Pete Golding. We saw Pete Golding's fruit of his labor yesterday in the Ole Miss LSU game. 0 adjustments, all scoring all the time.
Hey, real quick, I put it in a private chat. Y'all, it's special tonight. One, because yesterday, Alabama came away with a big victory, crossing over into midnight, which turned into October 1st, which was my mother's, the special woman in my life, the one that put me on this earth, the one that raised me and loved me and nurtured me. Diehard Alabama fan. We actually have a video edit coming of Didn't I Tell You We Roll Tide? I'm about to put her out there. We've been hiding it for years, y'all, but I'm going to edit this video. And it should be out soon. I think I want to do it the Tennessee weekend after we beat them boys. But shout out to my mom. It's her birthday chat. If you see Valencia Hines in the chat, Roll Tide, roll. She
Happy
said, "Roll Tide, roll,
birthday.
son.
Hey.
Happy birthday, mom. We love you." 57, I say 57.
Oh, did you just tell your mom's age
Yes,
on
because
the
she don't look
internet?
a day over 32. My mama don't look a day over 32, so I'm proud to tell people I have a wisdom mother. You know, I love that. So love you, mom. Happy birthday. Hope you're enjoying your Outback.
But yeah, I absolutely love the fact that we're playing more disciplined ball. Last night, penalties were not an issue for a change. Well, we only had 3 that I saw. And of course, when you have limited penalties, it does not cause you to shoot yourself in the foot. However, something that's really bothered me is our slow starts. You know, we can get away with that against a mid-level team like, say, Mississippi State. But if we're in a place like Kyle Field, like this coming weekend, and we're going up against the LSU in Tennessee, which is down the road. If we're doing that, it could spell disaster. But we were able to overcome that. We need to start correcting some things. Seth McLaughlin, whatever's going on with you, man, go talk to your pastor, somebody, getting some counseling, because we need you to get back to that form we saw the past 3 years, especially the form we saw in the SEC Championship 2021 against Jordan Davis. If it's a girl, man, it ain't worth it.
It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it, man.
Not at all.
Got your grip loose, man. You better tighten up, buddy. Well,
Go ahead,
brother.
Before I get my main takeaway, I'm gonna let Lushawn give me his takeaway.
You know,
he got him heated.
I know. My main takeaway from the game, and I normally try to be positive, but it's the communication breakdown between our offensive coordinator and our quarterback and the rest of our offense. Because it seems like no matter what the situation is, they're still not all on the same page. Like, they might be running the same play, but they're not running it together. So, again, I'm going to challenge Tommy Rees this week to, you know, maybe there's a way that he could communicate better with his team during the game. I don't know. There has to be a way that you can better prepare Jalen Milroe for these situations, because obviously we're going to be on the road this season and he's going to have to deal with these situations. And it just seems that he's just like a deer in the headlights that has never gone through any of these situations in practice. So he's never seen some of these coverages in practice, it seems like. And if you're an offensive coordinator, that's kind of your job to, you know, make sure that he's prepared. And if he's not comfortable, you need to see that and you need to deal with that accordingly. But yeah,
get him out of the booth.
And you know what? I agree with the booth move right now, because I don't see the defense of communication struggling as much as they were week 1.
Right.
And their adjustments on field are happening a lot smoother on the fly than the offense. I would love to see, and this is why I say I want to continue to give this time with this setup, because I saw from last week's game, Ole Miss game, first half communication errors, first, second, third drive, and then we saw a change in the second quarter. It got better in the second half, like we had a different offense out there. Coming to this game, good communication, like you said, you know, getting the play out there, understanding the play, but not running it like it's designed. You know what I'm saying? Like adjustments and things that should be able for Milroe to should be able to make on his own, be able to communicate without having that extra delay. And we saw when this offense is in tempo, it's almost unstoppable to stop the run game. When we're in positive, you know, tempo with positive run game, it's almost hard to stop Jalen Milroe and whatever personnel grouping we have out there. So communication definitely, I believe, and I'm going to have to disagree with you on just a little bit, because I believe it's getting better. I saw a different level of understanding from Milroe in the second quarter going into, even though it didn't produce as many points in the second half, Milroe was more comfortable in the second half handling that offense than he was in the first half.
One thing I have to give a shout to Jalen Milroe for is the fact that he is growing leaps and bounds. There's still some things he hasn't quite shaken, and last night we saw some sacks that didn't need to happen, and that was because of indecision on his part. holding the ball too long where he could have thrown it away. If he committed to the run, he probably would have had a significant amount of green in front of him. However, it wasn't often. It was just in the first couple of series, he shook it. And then in the second half, Smooth, like you said, man, he was so confident. He had swagger about himself. He wasn't making those mistakes that we have seen him make over the past couple of weeks. The throws he were making, my God, where have those been? He wasn't forcing it, and he put a few of them in places that we didn't honestly think he could ever put in. I was really impressed with what I saw. And let me ask you this. This is something we were debating last night. Now that I had an opportunity to kind of take emotion out of it, should we have passed more? The reason I ask is Mississippi State has one of the worst secondaries in the country coming into this game. I felt like we could have exposed them a lot more than what we did. I think getting those reps, throwing the ball through the air would have helped Jalen Milroe progress. But on the other side, I also see a reason why we didn't have to. We were playing bully ball. We were consuming a lot of clock. And we controlled everything. Yeah, Mississippi State had that little spurts where they did some things. But overall, Alabama had control. What's your take, Smook, and then Lushan? Oh, Lushan, you start, and then Smook can give his thoughts.
You know, they, as a team, as a whole, they did a good job of turning the page. They didn't let what was going on around them affect what was going on in their game plan. And I think that played a lot bigger into the game plan on why they were more successful as the game went on, because they knew that if they kept their concentration on the main goal, it was going to play itself out.
Yep. And I'm right there along with you, because we've been complaining about Bill O'Brien. You remember last year we would run the ball 67 yards down the field and then get to the last 8 yards and line up in shotgun empty for what? You know,
for what?
We just ran the ball 8 times, no pass attempts, and we are in the red zone at the goal line, and you want to pass it now? Why? So I appreciate them leaning on the run game yesterday. Perry, I was just about to jump on your comment. O-line played well last night. 3 of the 4 sacks weren't their fault. They have to play well against that A&M front at the Bama stand. I agree 110% with you, because last night was the first time I can honestly say pass protection. I give them a B plus, A minus for last night's pass pro, and their run blocking was just the standard. You know, it was. I won't say I didn't see anything impressive. It was just consistently on point. In, you know, guys were getting a consistent push, so the offensive line is getting comfortable now. The type of stunts that were getting thrown at them, they didn't get a lot of 5 and 6 man stunts last night. The 3 or 4 that they did get, we only gave up 1 sack off of it. So that's showing improvement, guys. We got to understand, just like they said, this team is still developing week to week. We have a lot of young guys in key positions, and the type of growth we've seen from week 2 to now, you can't ask for more. Penalties cut down and everything, bro. Like,
absolutely. And let me ask this, guys. This is something we all got kind of fired up about. Should Nick Saban have challenged that catch in the corner by Amari Black? Because as replay showed, he had complete control and total control of the ball as he came down. The foot was in. To me, that's a touchdown. I'm kind of shocked Nick Saban didn't challenge that.
If you watch it back closely, you'll see that Black never needed to put his right hand on the ball. If you go and watch that play, when he catches the ball over the defender, his right foot was already down, left foot drags, before it slides out of bounds, and then his right foot slides out, goes out of bounds. But the whole time, the ball is in his left hand. The whole time, he finally puts his right hand over it. That's the only time you see any type of movement, any type of rotation of the ball. That would have been an easy challenge for me, especially at that point in the game. We had the momentum. Defense wasn't giving up anything. That's one of those dagger moves that we used to Alabama having. And Milroe was confident to take that shot. That's what I was excited about. He was confident to give Black a playable ball. We haven't seen that from Milroe all year. I ain't going to say all year, but we haven't seen him have to make those 50-50 balls, them throws like that. So I'm liking his confidence right now.
Mm-hmm. That was actually pretty amazing. Normally he would have been timid to throw that type of ball. And there are several times where he did throw that ball. Amari Black is the utter mismatch too. Whoever's going against him, may God have mercy on the souls of the defender, because there's no way you can possibly guard him. So, yeah, I love that combination, and it was awesome also to see Amari Black run a jet sweep. Too bad we had a holding penalty to gate that run, but we got some innovativeness going on, guys. All right, so let's talk about one of the games. Go ahead.
Have you ever noticed that we don't ever get to see our holding penalties a lot of the time? Like, they don't replay them. They
don't. And I said it on one play. We were talking about it in the chat, Justin, in our group text, when Latham and Keenan were blowing that right side of that offensive line up at one point in the second quarter, and the scramble play when Rodgers actually made it out to the perimeter, and I think he gained like 6 or 7 yards. If you go back and watch that play, all you see is jerseys just being defensive lineman jerseys being tucked blatantly, and offensive linemen are doing it and looking back at the ref to see if they're going to call it. Ref's too busy trying to watch a hit on the quarterback because he knows that Bama linebackers are headhunting. So we can see the bias in the play, in the calling. I'm just glad they're not giving it. They're not taking it out on these defensive backs, which I know we're going to talk about later. But this secondary is looking nice, man.
Hey, what I told you there's going to be 3.
You called it.
And Downs is going to get his first one.
I called that. Now I called that Monday. I told y'all Monday. I said, this boy is ready. He had this look in his eye after Arnold got that pick. Yeah, he was happy, but he was like, dang, that was supposed to be my first, and that would have been nice too. Diving, undercut. Ooh. So he had to get it. And the way he caught it and the swag he had with it after caught, like, about time, let me get out. So I love it, man. The confidence, the energy is infectious right now for the Alabama nation. My pops in the chat said Texas A&M defensive line would challenge us.
That goes that question. This is where we could figure out, do we have it together, or will we still be a revolving door? I hope that we have these things figured out, because they're arguably the best defensive line we're going to face all season. I'm not too afraid what LSU is going to be providing based on what we saw yesterday, and then against Arkansas the previous week. But A&M, they're going to be coming with it. Being at Kyle Field, no joke. And even when we had stars like Will Anderson and Bryce Young and a few other folks, they've made it challenging for us. So I don't expect anything less this week. Hey, guys, one guy we have not called the name of tonight or really all season is Jamarian Latham. What a coming out party last night for him. The man was disruptive from the jump, swatted that ball in the air early on in the first half, landed comfortably in the hands of Chris Braswell, who housed it for 6. Man, what an unstoppable force last night. We were looking for another guy on the defensive line to really be an enforcer, and he stepped up to the plate. Of course, Tim Keenan's been doing his thing, no question. Jihaad is still doing his thing, still waiting on Justin Avoibe to be more consistent. But Latham, guys, how much do we trust him going forward now based on what we saw last night?
You can take it, Lou. I'm long-winded, man. I be trying to hold my tongue, man. I love this team right now.
Yeah. I feel like we challenged the defensive line to show up, and he showed up in a big way, and I feel like we should trust him a lot going forward because he was disruptive. He was mean, and he was relentless, and he didn't quit. Like, flat out, the whole game, every time he was on there, you saw 93 in the backfield, making them make a move on what they wanted to do with him. And that impact created a lot of plays if you look at the game from a larger scope. He allowed a lot of people to make plays last night with his disruption.
Oh, yeah. And that's why we're also excited about the linebacker play from last night. There were very few plays. I want to say 4 plays. We get 4 big plays that the inside linebackers were just in the wrong hole, blowing stuff up in the wrong spot. That's one thing I can appreciate. They were blowing stuff up, really, like literally taking the tight end out to play for no reason. Like I love that. I love that. If you're gonna blow something up, blow it up and make them regret, even faking. Next time they come and they know it's not going that way, they're gonna be looking, man, what is dude coming in? Last time I got hit on this motion, I ain't trying to take. So that's another key that I think these small things are being taught. But to go along with y'all point, man, Latham and that defensive front, I think what's helping them is the rotation outside of Otis and Keenan. You know, they seem to be the anchors of that defensive line. And I see that rotation around those two being very effective. And I see a boy be getting fewer snaps. And when he's out there, like you said, Justin, you see him being a little bit, he's starting to flash a little more because we're seeing less snaps from him, which is probably a good thing for him. People think that's a bad thing, but I think back to when Raquan Davis was, you know, having all this hype. And the year he was having that hype was when he was the second rotation defensive end. When he became a starter, he disappeared. They were able to key on him. He became a focal point of the defense. So I think the deep rotation keeps you from being able to focus on Jaheim Otis, keeps you be able to focus on Dallas Turner, Braswell. You have to be aware of that front four, sometimes front five that we line up with your 3 down linemen and your 2 outside linebackers, who basically act as extended defense coverage defensive ends, rushing defensive ends. So I like what's happening with this defensive front and the type of confidence that they're gaining with the aggressive nature that they're accepting and embracing. This could be nasty for the SEC West.
Lucia, I know you took issue last night with the times that Mississippi State was gashing us running the ball up the middle, and then there were so many times that the middle of the field was left unattended. What did you see last night from that perspective, and how quickly do you feel like we corrected that and made it right?
I mean, like Smook said, they were just blowing up the wrong holes. I mean, they were being aggressive. It wasn't like they was just
lost.
It wasn't like they were lost. They were just being aggressive in different positions on the field. And, you know, they unlike the last few years, we could actually comfortably say that we made changes. And I was very, very happy with the fact that we made changes. Because once we made changes, we pretty much shut them down. And as long as we can continue to build on that and make changes, because we're not going to face the same offense week to week. We're going to face better offenses as the week goes. Teams are going to be scheming against different. We're going to be playing different athletes who are going to try to hit us with different things. But as long as we can roll with the punches and keep changing with it and be able to turn that page, like Nick Saban says, I'm telling you, Bama Nation. Because Tommy Rees, I'm still a little bit critical on some of his play calling, but I feel like he's still in the reserve. So I'm optimistic because
tell us where
you run the ball.
Well, tell us where you have an uneasiness.
I feel like it's the consistency. Like some of our receivers are wide open, and I mean like Smoke.
Don't ask me, please. Please.
Let's talk about it, guys.
We're talking like they're open.
Yes.
And it's not just one. There's multiple receivers like
Jermaine
but
Burton.
he always Jermaine Burton.
You know what's crazy, Lou? And I don't mean to cut you off. We were talking about the defense first. This defense, the most dangerous defense is an aggressive, flexible defense, meaning you can plug players in any personnel grouping,
rotation,
adjust on the fly, and just play football and be effective. That's the worst defense to deal with because when we got to dumb everything down and keep it in front of us, now you really about to catch it because coach making us look like we don't know what we're doing. So if you got to dump it out in front of us, be ready to get hit every play. If you're going to run it up the middle, just know we're sitting here waiting for the run. And that's what this defense doesn't want to get to. So they're showing up and they're performing. Now, offensively with these wide receivers, bro, I don't think it's time for this offense to expose that level yet. I think the key to this offense being able to get to that was to establish the fact that we can be a heavy run team. We got this big old offensive line. There's no y'all. We've been saying it all year. Why we put on all this weight if we're not gonna run the ball? Man, once people see that this is why we put on all this weight, they're going to have to bring 7 in the box. And we see Milroe's deep ball accuracy. We saw that O-line give him 4 and 5 seconds worth of protection last night. We saw him extend the pass play and make, late passes downfield, extended pass plays off schedule with comfortable, within the phase of the game. The pre-knee black McClellan, Roydell, they're going to benefit from this. They're benefiting from it now, and that's what defenses are saying now. But just wait. Start giving us that zero coverage more often, and instead of sending that pressure up the middle, flying your guys out to cover the flats. Watch what happens. Bonds, Burton, Hale, Benson, those guys are cooking. Kendrick Law, Kobe Prentice. I hope he doesn't leave. I really hope Kobe Prentice doesn't get down on himself. He looked like he was having fun, even though he didn't get a lot of reps this past Saturday. But I hope he sticks around, because next year that quad of receivers, whoever 4 step up, they're gonna eat next year.
To Alexander, $4.99. Do you feel Tommy was trying to run the same offense he did at Notre Dame, which made us struggle because Jalen seems to run more and the run backs as well? Before I get the answer, as always, we have Bama Sci-Fi representing fully on all of our shows. And one of the baddest men to ever play in the secondary, who got us a national championship, the illustrious shutdown dude himself, Daquan Menzie. Welcome back in, sir.
What's going on, fellas?
What's up, bro?
What's going on, man?
Let me pump
Chilling, man. Chilling.
Hold up. Y'all gotta go do some push-ups. Hold up.
Dang, DQ, you shop in the same place that Marvin Constant does now? You a baby got too?
Hey, them jokers, they can't make sleeves big enough for them boys, man. I need a 12. I'm going back to U12. Man.
Bro, you stupid, man. How y'all boys doing, man?
Man, we good. Victory Sunday.
Yeah. Sure.
Well, let's answer this question first before we get DQ's assessment of what he saw last night. So, yeah, Ty, do you feel Tommy was trying to run the same offense he did Notre Dame, which made us struggle because Jalen seems to run more and run backs as well? How y'all feel, guys? Do you feel like he's trying to implement Notre Dame at Bama, or is he just trying to figure things out?
I can tell you right now, he's not doing nothing from Notre Dame. We're not going to continue to have that thought. Play calling, his placement in play calling was shaky from first game up until second half Ole Miss. I will give him that. But this last 6 quarters of play calling has been we have no turnovers, 0 turnovers in the past 6 quarters of gameplay, and we put up what was that? What we scored in the second half of Ole Miss, and then we put up 40 this game. Well, 7 was for the defense. So I mean, putting us in position to get points every possession, not turning the ball over. Effective run game, high completion rating, QBR rating for the last 2 weeks, last 6 quarters, highest in the SEC. I mean, come on, guys. We can't ask for more with this offense. Yes, we're going to continue to see them develop. They're going to get more explosive. But right now, this is the progression we want to see. We didn't want to see regression. I didn't want to see a 59-yard rushing game, total yards rushing, and 200 passing yards, and we win 27-21 type stuff. No, we had a dominant game.
DQ, your thoughts?
I think he's just trying to get used to the talent. I think it's different from he has different talent at Alabama than he did at Notre Dame. You know what I mean? I think he's just trying to get adjusted to Jalen Milroe's game, the O-line, because we're still young. Even the athletic guys that we have on our team. But I think he's slowly progressing. Lushan, I can understand why you think he needs to get out of the box and communicate, on the field, because it's a better communication, man. It's a better communication. You got hands-on. Once you get off that field and you make a mistake or you make an adjustment, you will want to go to your coach. So I can understand why you're saying that. But I am seeing a different progression. Coach Smook said it earlier, bro. I do think he's getting better at play calling because I think he's trying to use Jalen Milroe's strength. You feel what I'm saying? Right. So I think he's progressing, man.
Lushan, we hadn't heard from you yet, man. What's your take on that question?
I don't think he's running the same playbook at all. I mean,
No.
just it's not even the same. Like, no.
But I could understand. I think it's not necessarily the same playbook, but I could understand what they were saying in the question. You know, like, and we're not downplaying your question by
Yeah.
I can understand because placement and play calling was horrible, you know, against Texas. You know, the jet sweep in the red zone we didn't see that, but we saw jet sweep in the open field this past game with knee black, and it looked like we were getting ready to run another one before. I think they had like a clock issue or something. They stopped the play. We thought it was a false start, and they had a clock issue. It looked like they were getting ready to run one to the other side. So, or just give the look. I saw more pre-snap motion. We've been asking for all this stuff, y'all. I'm talking about pre-snap shifts and all this, and we got it. We got the full serving of everything we've been asking for. Run game, run the ball. That's all I've been seeing across Bama Twitter. We need to run the ball. Then we go and run the ball and put the ball 14 times or 13 times, and now we're complaining. 80 complete, 80%. Now we're complaining.
Yeah.
We're not airing it out enough.
What? I love y'all, man.
Well, let's talk about the biggest key of the game, and something I think we've been begging for how long, guys? As a matter of fact, we're going to print some T-shirts up called "Make Saban Mad Again," and we saw Nick Saban get mad again, guys. Let's talk about that. We saw vintage, I think, 2011 Nick Saban last night. Headsets being tossed, people being yanked by their neck off the field, dropping F-bombs on national television in front of the referees' mics. The CEO, Miss Terry, gave him the go-ahead. How excited are we to see 2011 Saban going on a tirade? DQ, start out.
Man, I'm super excited, man, to see it. You know, because the kids need that, man. Especially nowadays, somebody need to get kicked in the ass, man, and they need to get that motor started, man. The babying and the the hugging and trying to comfort them, man. We got to get away with that, bro. They need to get kicked in their ass. This is a game of football. This ain't chess. This ain't checkers. This ain't badminton, bro. This is football, and we need some dogs, man. We need some dogs, and those guys need that motivation, whether they know it or not. Even when we on this panel, bro, we're not trying to bash them. We trying to light that fire under their ass so they can go out there and play the best ball that we know that they can play. You feel what I'm saying? So, man, I'm excited to see them doing that because they need it. They need it, man. All this other bad influences out here, the social media, the people filling their head with them air, man. You need to get talked to like that, man, so you can be motivated, so you can play how we know you can play, man.
Did you start having flashbacks, sir?
Oh, for sure, man. Hey, I'm getting goosebumps.
You got little hives going.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But I'm super excited, man. Super excited.
Shout out to Clinton Howard, $2. Justin Haynes needs more touches. Smoog, you were the most lively guy. You're the most lively guy in our group chat last night about Coach Saban chewing some ass. How did that affect your watching ability last night?
You know what? I think Coach Saban knew place and timing for. He's that experienced on the psychological side of things. Let me hit this super chat before I get into this because people forget this. Ty, he said, "Do y'all think Lawson could be replaced by Campbell whenever he comes back? Like when Dallas replaced Drew Sanders?" Nope.
Ooh.
And
I want to hear both of y'all on this. And Lucian.
I'm going to answer that, but. Going back to that Saban, chewing them out, and thank you again, Ty, for the super chat. Saban has such a good handle on the psychological aspect of the game of football when it comes to coaching. People think it's just on the field, but even off the field, and how he recruits, handles business, and everything, handles the media. And so all week we've just been hearing, straight to the point answers from Coach Saban. And then he follows it up with that same fire on the field. The players buy into that. They've already been trying to echo the message for themselves. But when the GOAT comes behind you and he's like stepping on your neck to prove it, that puts a different type of energy behind you. So, and I like the response from the crowd. The crowd was hyped. That's I mean, I seen Bama Twitter going crazy, you know, because Coach Saban was snapping, and we all know that's what them boys. Not that I don't even think they needed it at that point. The fact that it happened though just was like, oh yeah. Coach believe, because all and Daquan, you remember Coach Lewis used to tell us, if I ain't talking to you, that means I don't believe in you. If I ain't cuss you out, I don't believe in you. And so, and that was my first experience of not having my dad coach, and that's when I started understanding. When I get fussed at, that means, hey, I'm that much closer to getting on the court. I'm that much closer to getting. So I just kept working, and these boys, I think they've adapted that mindset, man.
All right, before we hit this question, Lushan, give us your thoughts on it.
Which one are we doing?
Oh, the Nick Saban ass chewing brought back to life. I know as a former military guy, you were excited. That got your juices flowing.
My favorite, I think my favorite ass chewing was the ass chewing he gave the reporter going into halftime.
You get your own answer to that. How about that?
Right. Like, Mike, I'm gonna mic drop this for you and just walk away. Like, yeah. It needed to happen, and I'm glad it happened. And I think he was having fun with it too. And, I mean, when Coach Saban having fun, watch out.
That's dangerous. Oh, I said that today, Lou.
Yeah, bro.
I said that because even his post-game interview, Coach Saban looked sleepy. He didn't look frustrated. He didn't look tired. He looked sleepy. Like he was like, man. And the Miss Terry answer, I knew from the Miss Terry answer, I said, oh yeah, Coach Saban, he know he on to something. He not going to come out and say we the best team in the SEC right now. But he knows he's on to something right now. He knows it. And he got these boys' heads right where it needs to be. Yup.
All it took was Miss Terry pushing that button.
She do it. Hey, she'll do it too, man. She'll do it. She'll do it, man. Oh yeah, no doubt about it.
You sound like you got a story for that, DQ.
No, man. No. Same lines. I don't have a story, man. But I just know she
fiery.
She is, bro. If not more than Saban, man. She is into the game, bro, and she knows when we're not playing to our full potential. And she would go tell Coach Saban, "Hey, you need to get on their ass."
Yeah. Do y'all remember the COVID game where he didn't get the coach and he said they was always quarantined, and they asked, were you yelling? He said she was yelling more than I would. He said I could hear her over me, and it was funny.
She is competitive, bro. She is competitive. But before we get on, what I was gonna say, Coach, he might chew your ass out. Even when you'll see it on the I was watching on the sideline on the game, man. He was chewing into Terrion Arnold, bro. Mm-hmm. And Terrion made a play, and he went over to the bench and he pointed at him just like this, and he gave him a thumbs up. I mean, he would get on you, but he would congratulate you too, man.
Yep.
And that's what great coaches do. He's just not gonna chew you. He's not gonna do that all game. He's gonna congratulate you when you congratulate you, but he gonna tell you when you're gonna mess up too. He gonna make sure you know that. You know what I mean? So man, he's a great coach all around, man.
Yeah, that's the moments that you see what I'm telling you. You now I don't get it. I think his thing is I don't get credit for you making that play. But if you listen to me,
oh yeah, you gonna make that play. Oh, for sure.
I honestly felt that when he met Terrion at midfield, we're about to see another AJ McCarron incident all over again. And I mean, his hand was in the air and it was glowing, guys. Yeah, there was this radiation coming from him, and he was about to go Hulk smash. And I thought we were gonna lose that boy, guys.
Yeah,
I think he thought about, wait, this ain't 2010. I can't.
Yeah, and he's like, dang, I got saved. I can't do this no more. But let's go back to this question here. DQ, you were shaking your head as we read this out loud, and Lushan, of course, give your thoughts after DQ. Do you think Lawson's going to be replaced by Campbell whenever he comes back?
No, I say no because the defense is ran in a different way when he's on the field, and you could tell from yesterday, communication, and there's no shot to Campbell because he's still young, he's still growing. And he needs those reps, and I think he did exceptional yesterday. All the linebackers, even Marshall, man. I was getting on him last game. He did phenomenal. Yeah, I know he watched the show. But,
Yeah.
Right. I feel like all of them are watching the show. Like, okay, what they say about us?
Lawson, that's our vet, man. That's our captain, and that's our signal caller. So when you can tell when he's not on that field, how the defense flows different. You can tell. So and when he gets back, man, I just think all those guys should be, and no shot to Marshall because I think he did great, but I think Campbell, Lawson, who else we got? Blackshire, those guys.
Marshall.
I think we need to see more of those guys, man. But I don't think he'd be replaced at all.
Lucian, how do you feel,
No.
man?
He's not going to be replaced. And I mean, I'm the biggest Jihaad Campbell fan on the planet. I'm going to say that right now. But he's not going to replace him. What's going to happen is this. We're going to have 4 deadly headhunting.
Kick him out. Kick him out. He's taking my point. Kick him out. He's taking my point. Kick him out. He's taking my point.
I'm telling you, Kevin Steele is going to have these just salivating just dogs that are just they're going to tear people's heads off no matter what the situation is. And by the time everybody gets in and this all just gels together,
sometimes it's to his detriment, but there is just something animalistic about Jihaad Campbell on that field. It ain't human.
Yeah.
And he kind of reminds me of
he just looks mean.
He's wearing that number 30.
guy.
I mean, DeQuan, you remember number 30, don't you?
Oh, no doubt about it, bro.
Is he giving you flashes? Because I'm kind of feeling it.
He's faster than Dante was.
Oh,
He's
no
faster than Dante.
Yeah. And the thing is,
bro.
And you know what's crazy? The play where they slipped the I think it was either the fullback or the running back, however he lined up, and he was supposed to cover the flats on the passing touchdown that we gave up. His recovery speed to chase that guy down and to almost stop him short, that was crazy to me. I haven't seen that from a linebacker at Alabama since probably young Dylan Moses. Young Dylan Moses before the first knee injury. We were raving about his speed and his recovery. His able to coverage and like him and Blackshire on the field defending the run game, Campbell and Blackshire, they give me Reuben Foster and Hightower type vibes with the way they attack the gaps, man. And we talked about how they gave up that big play when those two were in, but you look at how Blackshire and Campbell blew the wrong gap up, man. I just wish it was the right, and it was the wrong.
Man,
time.
it would have been hell.
It would have been because they both, the right tackle, the right guard, and the tight end that motion to that side. Those two guys just annihilated that side of the line, man. So I mean, but no, to answer that question, you don't replace a guy like Lawson. That's too much value.
Before
you spare him and keep him healthy, but definitely you just keep him out there.
Before I get to the importance of special teams in this game, let's talk about the secondary. DQ, we hadn't heard your thoughts on them. They shut down Mississippi State's wide receivers. The highest yardage from a state wide receiver was 23 yards. 23 of them things. They didn't go off. I didn't see LaDietrich Griffin at all last night. Talk about a guy who is creating NFL value, and I mean money for himself. Malachi Moore. Every single game, it's like he's center stage for an NFL draft room to sit there and fight over each other on who's going to take him because he's that dude. And we all said in the offseason, if he stays healthy, this is what we are going to see. He is the undisputed leader, but let's talk about the difference he's making. DQ, Smook, then Lucian.
All right, man. Me being in the secondary, but I was super excited to see those guys, man, play the way they played Saturday. Malachi Moore is reminding me of Brian Branch. Another Brian Branch, and he plays exactly like him. Very physical at the attack, especially when those runs on the perimeter runs, bro. You have to engage those receivers, bro. And he's hitting them in the mouth every time. And he's knocking them behind the line of scrimmage, so they gotta bounce. And that's what you need from a star. If you're playing star, we're nothing but a smaller, faster covering linebacker when we're playing. That's all we are. That's all we are, man. And once you have a physical guy like that there that can cover, that is smart, that can communicate, and that can tackle, it's ridiculous, man. Then you got Caleb Downs back there in the back, ball hawk. I told y'all, man, Caleb Downs is gonna be a dog. It's gonna be a name that's gonna be talked about in the next coming of these years. We already talking about him now, but he's gonna be very important to the defense, man. Kool-Aid, I know him. I'm telling he another one that watched this show because he played better this time. I'm telling you.
he heard what you said, dude.
I'm telling you, man. And he's trying to match Terry Arnold. I'm not trying to get these guys to play against each other. I'm trying to get these guys to compete at a high level.
You got them fired up.
What their ability is. That's what they're supposed to do, man. All these guys on our team, all the athletes, bro. We all the guys that's on this Alabama team, we know their potential. Because you wouldn't be there if you weren't good. We know your potential. We trying to get y'all to get all the outside noise out of your head and just play ball, man, and play to your potential that Nick Saban and us fans and former players know y'all can play at, man. But the secondary is ridiculous. Terry Arnold, I don't need to speak about him because you know how I feel about him. You already know that. Jalen Key played better. He another one to watch this show because he played better.
Hey, DQ, I ain't ready. I ain't ready to get him a pass yet. He missed a key tackle, late in the second half that I wasn't pleased with, and then he also
he did the Henry Toto blind.
Bad a couple times and was saved because we were rallying, but he said. Look, baby Marvin. Look, Marvin Jr. in the chat. I said it when he came on. I said, look at Marvin Jr.
Marvin Jr. Y'all had to be cousins.
As a whole, man, I'm excited to see where they're going and what their potential could be. I'm loving it, man.
That's amazing because DQ, you set 3 social media platforms ablaze with those comments last Tuesday. So I'm excited to see what happens this week and who you fire up.
I'm telling you, man.
Coach Smoot, go ahead, and then Lushawn will finish this thought.
Hey, so on the secondary, and this is something that I was happy to see. 2 games in a row where they just played lights out. The secondary played lights out 2 games in a row against formidable offenses that could really take the top off if you give them opportunities. They could run the ball if you look at how Mississippi State has found their success this season, like I was saying earlier, they like to start the game strong with the run and then just take the top off the rest of the game. And we were able to shut that down. Everybody looks at the amount of yards we gave up in the run game, but you got to think, I think 47 of them came off of one run and then another 23-yard run that, like I said, few plays where minor things happen and turn into big plays. We didn't allow them to capitalize except off of one that led to that first score. But overall, this secondary, man, we were talking about Caleb Downs and his ability, his IQ in the game, man. That interception, he had been setting that up all night. And Justin's right here. We in the same group chat. Earlier in the game, it was like the second quarter, I said Downs could have had that pick. And we was like, why he didn't jump it? You go and look. He had a low crosser and a high crosser. He set on the high. It had to throw low. He broke on the low. Guess what happened against him in Texas? He jumped. He set watching the low too long and got beat over
right past. Mm-hmm.
So he's learning. That people, you won't understand that unless you know football, guys. You won't pay because we was Caleb could have had, and I was one. But then as soon as the replay, I said, they tried to pull him off because he was the lone safety. Key had to walk down and play the other side on the slot. So we see the guy growing. Arnold, he's the best corner on the field right now. But I will say this: somebody that I was gonna be happy and I thought he was gonna take one and gamble. Trey Amos on that.
I seen him.
I thought he was gonna try to jump it, but I understand it was 3rd and 11 or 3rd and 8 or something. You got him 5 or 6 yards behind the sticks, so just secure the tackle, gang up. But I believe if he gambles, he takes that. That's a second pick 6 of the game, and he's becoming comfortable. I love his run support that he's played with yesterday.
He's big.
Yes, and he's being physical now. That's one thing we got onto him about, not being physical with his size. You're 6'1", like 205, right? 6'1", 210, something like that. Big corner, use it.
Yep.
Be physical. Yep. So secondary is playing lights out, man. And like I said, Jalen Key, I feel like he's becoming comfortable. But I hope Smitty gets healthy and able to get back on the field. I feel like he just brings another dimension and understanding to this defense. And I think he's a better cover guy at safety.
Yeah,
Sean, finish up this thought.
Secondary played great. The biggest thing I took away from him was their communication with each other. I felt like as on the defense, as a unit, they communicated the best. They were passing off receivers. They knew what each other was doing, and they were on the same page, which allowed them to just be successful in the scheme of the game. They defended well. They tackled amazing in the open field. They came up on run support, and they hit. Like our DBs ain't scared to hit you in the mouth, and as receivers, that wears on you after a game. You get a DB that's just cracking you for 4 quarters. I mean, that's going to wear on your confidence, and you could tell. I mean, eventually they just rolled out, and that was it. I'd say, Caleb played amazing. Obviously, like we agreed, Teron Arnold is that guy in the secondary right now. But something Smook led to about Devontae Smith. I feel like once he gets back, we're going to see our secondary take another step. I know they're playing at a high level right now, but I feel like something that Kevin Steele hasn't been able to do, which a lot of fans don't know aside from, people on this panel that know football, is that
we ain't seen it yet, and we know he's already.
So like I said, this team's continually getting better, and they're reacting to change well, and they're playing fast, and they're hitting people. As long as they keep this up and keep getting better, there's nothing that they ain't gonna be able to do. And I think they're gonna keep getting better with their competition because we got some receivers. In the next couple of weeks, they're going to test them, but our guys are staying strong.
Justin, before you go, you remember we talked about this a lot last season with our blitz packages. How satisfying, and DQ, you can answer it too, because I was watching highlights at the beginning of the season, and you were used in a lot of these. Those short corner blitzes, man. Man, it was so satisfying to see those, Justin. I already know. You over about to have a condition.
I almost shed a tear because I was just so elated.
Emotional for real.
Like, it really is. You're like, I thought we forgot how we can do it,
and we got beat on one. But it was like, we did it twice. Kool-Aid blew that running back up too. I feel like he held up a little bit, but
be physical. I didn't know he could do that. Look at him.
Right. I was like, dang. Somebody was paying attention.
He definitely paying attention. I know he watched the show, like I said, man.
That's exactly what.
You gonna keep throwing that in there?
You gotta
keep throwing that
on. I gotta. That's the one guy I gotta stay on, man. I'm gonna stay on him, man, because I just want to motivate him, and I know what he can do. So I'm gonna stay on him, man.
And like
we want to put 2 first-round corners in there.
Oh, for sure.
Right there, man. And I said this, man. People say y'all giving them too much too early, but you don't see growth like you see in Arnold from a lot of players, man. It's hard to see that, man. Everybody raved about Eli Rick's freshman season, what he was able to do when he got thrown on the field at LSU, and then he got hurt, and then he got to Bama, and we didn't see any more growth from him. Nope. He made a few impact plays, but we didn't see any more growth. He was who he was, a man guy. He didn't understand scheme. He didn't understand the advanced concepts of adjusting to coverage in phase or out of phase coverage. So to see Arnold make the progression that he's making, and Kool-Aid just a freakish athlete, man. This is probably, we haven't had a corner tandem like this in years, man. Like years. Even when Minka was here, we didn't have another. Minka played the star. We didn't have 2 lockdown corners outside. So dang, when have we? I gotta go back and look. When have we had 2 lockdown corners? The last time I gotta go look. But that's my point.
You got me thinking now.
Like for real, I'm about to go look. I want to say
2 lockdown.
Go look at some rosters. I want to say because
I'm biased, man. I'm gonna put my team out there.
Yeah, I was about to say. You can go back to your day, DeQuan. There's no argument that we can form against that, really.
I don't think
we had D. Milliner, Man, we had a Robert Lester. The secondary was crazy, man.
Y'all-
And then when I
You
went
forget
there-
how good Robert Lester was.
Oh, a dog, man. Robert Lester kept me on the field, man. Robert Lester was my guy.
I think he still holds the record at Alabama for the most interceptions in a season.
Him and Mark Barron, 2 dogs, bro. 2 legendary dogs.
Y'all
that
had
I
Dre
played with.
that year.
We had everybody.
Haha was a freshman. Jesus Christ.
Oh, we had
Remember,
Vinny, we
LSU
had
didn't
Vinny,
move
we
past
had-
the 50.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
They
Yo,
moved
this-
past the 50 one time, and we put them back on across the 50.
That's it. I wonder if we'll ever see that again.
yeah.
That man.
That was
Put that in
probably-
the Smithsonian.
Hey, y'all remember Legion, the Seahawks Legion of Boom?
That was y'all.
That was Legion of Boom. I'm
That
looking at
was
the
y'all.
physicality in that secondary. Lester, DQ,
bro.
Mark Barron, Vinny was coming off the bench getting
Ooh,
little.
Vinny.
We
We
Yeah,
got
he
Lowry
was-
that back there. We had some
Will
guys,
Lowry.
man.
Look, hey, Will Lowry's
Man,
that
we
dude
had some-
now.
A
Yes.
dog. You talking
Yes.
about putting his nose in it? Oh, come on, man.
He was too little to play linebacker. That's what that was. Too little to play linebacker.
Yeah, he was a dog, man. I'm telling you. But yeah, my team, man,
Y'all was deep.
we were serious, man. We were serious.
Y'all was deep.
From the way back in the day, Fernando Bryant and Deshae Townsend were 2 lockdown
Yeah.
corners.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
without question.
Yeah.
2 first-round
Yeah,
guys. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
played a number of years in the NFL.
Shoo. And you brought back some.
Mm.
That
Them
was
my
way
dad
back.
days.
Yeah,
look.
yeah, bro.
Them my dad
Hey.
days telling me about you.
I
You don't know
can't
no
even
Fernando.
think back then.
Right, I don't. I was in your ball sack. What you mean? Like, what you mean? What was I supposed to do? Ain't called me. I wasn't here.
Here on the Bama Standard,
DNA property.
we're an FCC violation waiting to happen. Guys, before we shut it down and give our players the game, let's talk about another position group that is going overlooked unless you're a football guy. Special teams. Special teams have been absolutely monumental this year. Will Reichert, best kicker in the country, he has made 23 or is it 24 straight
24.
kicks.
24 straight.
They're not short kicks, guys. They're 40 plus. And let's talk about the awesome Aussie, James Burnip. Last night, he didn't walk on the field. He just strutted out in the field. And he looked at the guys. He's like, all right, guys, I'm going to put the hell out of this ball. You're going to go chase it down and pin them down to 1. And then defense, I want you to knock the living hell out of them. And that's what happened. He
been
did
waiting
it
to do
twice.
He been waiting to do that, chat. You can tell he been ready. He been ready. I ain't gonna lie. Hey, you killed that one, bro. I had to look up at the screen. I thought somebody got on the mic.
He was with us last week, so that's
Yeah.
it stuck with me. But guys, talk about the special teams right now and how just monumental they've been to us, flipping the field, putting the defense in favorable positions, but also when we need points, Will is doing his thing. We'll start with Lushan and drop down to Coach Smook, and then DQ will finish it.
You know, I think the biggest thing that the special teams is doing right now is field position. They're flipping the field. They're making sure we're always in positive field position, whether it's on the offensive or defensive side of the football. I mean, James Burnup's doing an amazing job with his leg right now. The hang time on it is, I mean, they're not getting returns off punts. I mean, as far as kickoff return, I mean, they're not getting much. And I feel like sometimes our players need to run down there and crack somebody. So I'm not at all mad when somebody wants to try and bring it out and return it because
Right there. There's a guy who
what?
cracks
Play the
in
game.
skulls.
Play the
Talty,
game,
the
baby.
backup kicker.
right.
Play
Dude.
the game, baby.
Oh man.
I like how he flexed a little bit too. And if he's getting physical, then
But,
Yeah,
but
do
the
this.
flex wasn't even like a mean flex. He just got up like, I be doing this. You
Yeah,
know
I
what I'm
mean,
saying?
I lift weights. Yeah, I
Yeah.
be doing
like
that.
y'all know
With
me.
his, look, with his Will Anderson on, you know what I'm saying? He got the
Right.
Will Anderson on. Hey,
Jason
Jason,
Bernard, can we please get Kool-Aid off punt returns? And the church said amen.
and that's only because I don't want his value to go down. He caught people by surprise last year. And even last year, guys, it wasn't like he was burning people. You know, it was just slipping through.
He's good at the puzzle.
He's
not
not
fast enough.
not that type of speed. He's
Put Put Kendrick Law back there. I put Kendrick Law.
Why
back
is
there.
I put
Brooks
Isaiah
on
Bond
offense?
back there, or Terrion
Isaiah
back
Bond
there.
back there? Yeah,
Terrion.
man.
Terrion,
Come on, man.
give Terrion
He broke
another
off that
chance.
kickoff. Yeah, the
Exactly.
kickoff he ran back. Yeah, for sure, bro.
When is Emmanuel Henderson going to be healthy again? Can we please get him back on the field?
They said, you remember at the beginning of the season, they said week 8 would be the soon as we probably see Emmanuel, and that's sad because you talking about week 8, you not. I doubt because we won't be hurting for by that time you've done figured it out. It's hard.
You'll be developed well enough. Yeah, you can't just plug them in at that time, man. So no, I don't think we'll see him this year.
But my take on it, man, I'm more than satisfied. Riker, we knew what we was coming in. My thing was I was hoping it wouldn't be like one of those bad mojo seasons where the kicker come back. Yeah, I remember Papa Nostos came from Ole Miss for a 6th or 5th year.
Papa not happening.
Yeah, and I'm glad we don't have that voodoo over us because we got to go to Jordan Hare this year, and we know we all know how that is. I don't care how good we look coming into Iron Bowl week when we have to go to Jordan Hare, and y'all know they're gonna make it a night game, 8 p.m. kickoff.
I'm not tired of these night games.
Man, let me tell y'all.
It doesn't make sense. The Tigers, they fly a War Eagle in Jordan Hare Stadium. Just doesn't make sense at all.
Rabbits,
none
Tigers,
of it makes sense. Like,
birds.
Is it the zoo? Like, what are we doing here?
but y'all know how important it is for special teams to be on point. And one thing we haven't had bad snaps from our long snapper. Our none of that. We've had clean snaps. We highlighted James Burnham. That kick to get down on the 3-yard line or whatever, 2-yard line, that was crazy. And should have had another one inside the 5. It was a half-yard line. But should have had another one, man. It was almost there. So I'm more than excited about this. But Connor, I like the future with Connor. Connor Talton. Is he from Hoover?
No.
Where's Connor from?
Up north?
He's from Idaho or somewhere like that.
Idaho.
Gotta be.
Man. But yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Smoke. You got something else to say?
No, I'm good, bro.
Okay. Man.
He is from Chicago.
That explains it. Got that little attitude about him.
Chirac. He was out there in the trenches, boy.
Chirac.
And y'all imagine Connor out there with a do-rag on, bro.
Oh, man.
DQ, go ahead.
But no, man, y'all already summed it up, man. Special teams is vital to us, man. And shout out to all the kickers, the punters, man, the long snappers, and everybody that's on special teams. Special teams is important. And Will Riker, bro, I can't say nothing more about him, man. He's our best guy. I'm talking about the most consistent from day one when we started the season, man. He's been our most consistent guy. Team. For sure, no doubt about it, man. He's the best player on the team, flat out. Yep. So shout out to all the guys, man. Shout out to all the special team players, man.
No doubt. All right, guys, it's time to start winding things down. So we're going to go around the room, and we're going to give our offensive and defensive players of the game, and then we'll close it out by giving our social media for the fans to follow. Lucian, offensive and defensive player, and then we go down to Coach Smoke, and then DQ, and I'll finish it out.
Offensive player of the game. I'm gonna go with Amar Niblack.
Okay.
Okay.
I felt that he was physical, and I'm not just talking like in his blocking schemes. I felt like once he got off the line of scrimmage, his catches, and he made his presence known when he was out there. Yeah. And I also felt like he did hit some big blocks that a lot of people might not have seen, but he smashed some people. And I think the more he does that, he's going to demand a different type of respect, which is going to allow him to do what he does best once he gets split out wide. They're going to put someone a little heavier on him, and that ain't a good decision because he's going to toast him. Defensively, I'm not going to take anyone's player of the game because I know the other guys on the panel. So I'm going to go Defensive player of the game would be Jihaad Campbell.
Good one.
He stepped up. You know, he was asked to do a job, come in and fill in for Lawson. Now, I'm not saying in any ways he was Lawson, but he did a job extremely effectively. He played physical. He played fast. He may have made some mistakes, but like as Marvin and DQ said, as long as you're making those mistakes fast, no one's really going to have a problem with them. And he played physical. And I felt like he brought that energy, that little bit of that old school, little bit more brutish, like, okay, I'm here. I'm a little bit more of a junkyard dog than a normal dog. And, you know, that's why I'm going to give him a defensive player of the game for me.
Coach Smoot.
All right. For the first time in a while, I'm going to go with the obvious. Offensive player of the game was definitely Jalen Milroe. You're talking about 164 passing yards, 69 rushing yards. He had 2 scores on the ground, should have had 1 in the air, like we said, with the knee black catch. Possibly could have, took some more shots and had maybe 1 or 2 more passing touchdowns. But efficient game when you talk about a guy going 10 for 12. You can't ask. I don't care if you throw the ball 8 times and we go 7 of 8. You got 164 yards of passing. You got 193 yards. You held the other team under below both of their season averages on the defensive side. So you didn't need a lot. And Jalen Milroe did exactly what we needed him to do for us to get this win the way we need to win this game. And he still has room to grow. Defensively, my defensive MVP is going to go to Tresman Marshall. I want to give him a shout out because I think this kid really showed he's ready to, take on more responsibility. We see that we always knew that his familiarity with the system would give him a sort of an advantage, but I saw more effort yesterday, and that resulted into what I think he had 12 tackles or something like that. Trez Marshall. So I mean, he was up there in the top 5. I can't remember how many he had, but and he was very disruptive.
Caleb.
Yeah, he was very disruptive. So I give him that just because of the improvement I saw, and that's my take on it, man.
Man, Smoot, the way you start things out, you sound like some late night love show. Like,
bro,
you reached Coach Smoot. He's like, as soon as I heard his voice, he's like, yeah, this is Coach Smoot at the dock. We got our Cavassier poured and we get things started with some bare white girl. Let's get wet. DQ, what you got?
Oh man, I'm gonna start with defense first, man, and I'm gonna go with Caleb Downs. A bunch of those runs that I'm sure I know y'all watched the game, but a bunch of those runs, man, could have got out of hand, man, if Caleb wasn't right there.
Right.
He was our last resort, and he learned from his mistakes throughout the whole season. He's learning from like Coach Smoot said earlier. He didn't take the cheese in front of him. You know what I mean? And he made plays just because of that. So he's my defensive player of the game. And then my offensive player of the game is not. I can't put it on one person. I'm gonna say the O-line because they made Jalen's game a lot more comfortable. He was able to make those throws. He was able to, and then we could run the ball too, bro. He was more comfortable this game, and I seen, and he was going through his progressions, man, and he wasn't indecisive this game. And I think part of that was because of his O-line was protecting him on pass protection, and during the running game, man, it was run blocking. So I'll give it to the O-line offense.
Dang, I love that. As far as I go, offensive, I'll start with the offensive side of the ball. I gotta go with Jase McClellan. He didn't have a whole lot of yards, but every time he ran, I felt like he was channeling Samuel Jackson. I hope these motherfuckers get in my way. I'm gonna send them straight to hell. And that's what he did, because if you saw after every play, he had his helmet off, and he looked like he was pissed off at everybody and their mama. I just love that energy, man. He is easily the best back in this backfield, the most focused and determined, and I cannot wait to see him have a 200-yard game. I feel like it's coming. Defensive side of the ball, I got to go with Jamarian Latham, a guy that
I like it.
Caused a huge shift early.
For sure.
And put Mississippi State in the hole. And honestly, Mississippi State never quite recovered mentally from that. Yeah, they did a few things here and there. They made a little bit of noise, but they were shot after that. After he tips that pass and causes it to land ever so comfortably in the hands of Chris Braswell, man, that was it. He just, cradled it to the end zone. But the whole night, he was in the backfield, disrupting everything, just making life miserable for everybody around. What a coming out party for that young man. Excited for what he is going to be doing in the future. All right, guys, we reached the closing part of our show. What we're going to do is go around the room. Everybody gives their social media platforms and how everybody can find them. We'll start with Lushan, then Smook, Daquan, and we'll close things out.
You can find me on Twitter, Roloose21. That's pretty much my only football Twitter as of right now. I'm still working on some things. Yeah.
And when Coach Smook is not chewing on some wings and some mac and cheese, how can they find you?
Hey, you can find me in the kitchen getting another plate. That's where you can find me now. Y'all just don't know, man.
He's at the church social right now.
Look, we got out of church, and my daughter asked for some mac and cheese. I got in there. I make the best mac and cheese you probably ever ate in your life, but we ain't gonna talk about that. But yeah, you can find me on every platform at Coach Smook. And y'all know, as always, we're here Tuesdays for the final whistle. I'll be here on Tuesdays. Also, every Friday for this season, man, we do the college football revamp pre-game preview. This week, we'll have our top fan as our offensive coordinator, hopefully. And I'm trying to get my bro from another mother, my brother from another mother, trying to get him in there. Trying to get him to call the defense for me. So, and guys, we got some good reactions. Thanks to you all sharing the broadcast and sharing the tweet. Coach Teague reacted to one of the tweets. That was big, saying that he was able to check it out a little bit. So we're getting the exposure, man. I appreciate y'all, mostly for just, carrying the Bama standard, to the next level, because we got different content over here, y'all. We got the real. Everybody that talks about the Bama standard talk about how real it is, and I can appreciate that, because these are guys that I know on a personal level, and I mean, it's a passion for us to bring you all this content. So continue to support, run the likes up, subscribe, and continue to watch on. Roll Tide, everybody.
We're even making a difference in players' careers, Daquan.
Right. Daquan making people money right now.
Yeah, he is.
but y'all crazy, man. But no, y'all can find me on X/Twitter, whatever that is, at Menzie24. That's my my dang tag number, whatever it is, y'all want to say. But that's you can find me on that, and then man, y'all can find me on the Bama Standard, bro. Whenever Justin sends me a link, I'm on. Whenever I have free time, bro, I'm down for whatever, man. So
be expecting a call.
Right.
We greatly appreciate you, bro. You're becoming a key piece to this thing, man. We appreciate it for sure.
For sure, man. No
that
doubt,
call
bro.
out was huge.
Yeah, man. You know what's crazy? Daquan, when we go back, like, I don't know, he probably don't remember much of Faith Middle School. I remember we used to, bro. You remember we used to just call people out, bro. We used to get our five, me, you, Bussy.
Hey, easy.
I mean, everybody. We had Squat Kali. You remember we used to just go crazy, call people out. But that same energy, I mean, we used to just sit back home and watch DQ on Saturdays, and we was like, man, that boy's still talking. He always been one to call people out, whether he felt like he was better than him or he would call people out. And he the reason why I didn't play Little League football, for real. Them boys was too intense. I didn't play football. I didn't play organized football till my 9th grade year, because when they was playing on Fort Benning, playing with the South Columbus Raiders and all them boys, they was too. I wasn't used to that. I just like watching it. I ain't like to get hit. I was fast. I could catch. I ain't like to get hit though. We was playing in the neighborhood. I did not like getting hit. Never put them pads on.
No, those were the days, man. Those were the days, bro.
But you had that impact, man. You know how to challenge people. You always had that. So it's funny to see that come full circle in the Bama Twitter world.
No doubt, bro.
No.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, as Coach Smook alluded to, we have other programs on this wonderful channel, the top channel for Bama content, period. Tuesday night, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern, the Bama Standard will be on air. You'll be getting Marvin Constant 1.0 in his reaction. We got Marvin Constant 2.0 just below us here. But yeah, check us out. And the final whistle Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. And then also don't forget on Wednesday night, the lovely She for the Crimson Dynasty, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. Our own Coach Smook was a guest this past Wednesday, and they did their thing. Y'all show her some love. I appreciate everybody in the chat tonight showing up impromptu. We didn't give any notices. Of course, we don't have to. We're the Bama Standard, and we know the flock is going to come to center stage.
Yes, sir.
But for all of us tonight, roll tide, guys.
Roll
Roll
Tide.
Tide, fellas.
Roll Tide.